Welcome to Finance Enterprise Procurement End User Guide Training. In this video, you will learn how to create a purchase requisition, how to do account splits, how to use product codes for warehouse use only, workflow approvals, PR/PO printing, standard receiving, receiving sign-off reports, and how to copy a purchase requisition. Creating a requisition. The path to create a requisition is POUPPR. You can either enter that in the search bar in the top right corner of the home screen and click the Enter button from your keyboard, or you can use your workspace entitled Fiscal User Standard Layout. Select the Procurement tab and then select Purchase Request, which is the POUPPR. Once you are on the Purchase Request screen, click on the plus button from the top bar to create a new requisition. The system will assign the next available number. Click in the PR field, then click on the lightning bolt button next to the PR field. From the drop-down, select the PR seed. Based on your security, you will have access to specific security codes. Click on the drop-down in the security code field and select the security code you wish to use. Click in the vendor field, then click on the keyboard icon next to the vendor ID field. Enter a portion of the vendor's name. It is not necessary to enter the full name. Click OK or click the Enter button from the keyboard to display names matching the name entered. Using wildcards, also known as asterisks, is also an option when only a portion of the vendor's name is known. For example, if *office* is typed, the system finds each vendor that has the word office within the name. If the user types office*, the system will find only the vendors that begin with the name office. Select the appropriate ID by highlighting it and clicking OK. Double-clicking will also pull the ID into the record. Note: addresses defined for the vendor will be listed in the lower portion of the screen. The highlighted address is the one that will be brought into the record. Simply highlight the appropriate address if the default address is incorrect. The Ship-To ID will be typed into the Ship-To field. You may also use a lookup button if you do not know your Ship-To ID number. Select the appropriate ID by highlighting it and clicking OK. Double-clicking will also pull the ID into the record. At this time, pressing the Save Changes button, located on the left navigation panel, will save the header portion of the requisition. However, no money has been encumbered until a quantity and unit cost is entered with the account to be pre-encumbered. Make sure to note the PR number in case you must leave the screen and locate the record at a later time. Purchase requisitions must be itemized. Enter the exact quantity for the item being purchased. Select the appropriate unit of measure from the drop-down list. Access the list by clicking on the down arrow. Enter the description of the item or items being purchased. Be specific. Type your description in all caps. Enter the dollar amount for the unit price. If entering a number with no cents, it is not necessary to enter a decimal and 0 cents. For all $0 requisitions, especially blanket purchase order requisitions, during the creation of the requisition, for the record to save at a $0, the % button needs to be clicked once. Then click and Save Changes button on the left navigation panel. Enter the GL key and object codes to be entered for the purchase. If the numbers are known, simply type them in the appropriate field. To see a list of available keys, make sure your cursor is in the key field first, then click on the ellipsis button and click on the lookup button. A list will appear of account numbers for your department. Double-click on the appropriate code to have the system bring it into the purchase request record. Using wildcards is also an option when only a portion of the key is known. Access a lookup for object codes by clicking on the ellipsis button, then click on the lookup button when the cursor is in the object field. Select the appropriate object code by double-clicking on it in the same fashion used to select the key. Enter the amount of the line item in the field after the account key and object code fields. In the amount field, type 1.00. At this time, pressing the Save Changes button on the left navigation panel will save the record. If additional line items are necessary, simply go to the next line on the grid and repeat the steps outlined for data entry of item information. The system automatically numbers its next line item in anticipation of additional records. There will be times when the record accepted message is not received and the budget warning appears instead. These warnings are intended to inform the user that funds are not available and to take the necessary steps to move money into the account or choose another account to expense the purchase. Once all line items are entered, skip to Section 4 to submit PR to Workflow. Entering account splits. This guide is intended to walk you through the process of entering account number splits in purchasing. Item expenses can be split to multiple accounts by either dollar amount or percentages. Click on the Add Account tab. A second line item will be added underneath the first line with account information. After indicating a line item is to be charged to multiple accounts, click on the Percent tab. This will change the total and remaining amounts to percents. Notice that the field defaults to percent. Change the percent button to amount. The thought process on this is for the system to recognize that you want to show figures as percent. You have to click and select percent. System will change tab to show an amount. In the account splits line, enter the percentage of the expense you want to charge to this account. To enter the next account number in the split, click the Add Account tab. The system will add another line for the key, object, and percent fields to allow the user to enter the next amount. For each additional account, repeat these steps. You may have as many accounts in your split as needed as long as they all add up to 100%. Notice that the total percentage is 100% and the remaining percentage is 0%. If this does not add up, you will receive an error message when attempting to save the record. When finished, click on the Save Changes button located on the left navigation panel. Account splits by amount. After indicating a line item is to be charged to multiple accounts, click on the Amount tab. This will change the total and remaining amounts to dollars. Notice that the field defaults to percent. Leave the percent button to percent. The thought process on this is for the system to recognize that you want to show figures as dollars by leaving it set to percent. System will accept the entries to reflect dollar figures. In this account split lines, enter the amount of the expense you want to charge to this account. Enter the next account number in the split, which will include the key, object, and amount fields. For each additional account, repeat these steps. You may have as many accounts in your split as needed as long as they all add up to the line item total amount. Notice that the total dollar is $30 and the remaining dollar amount is $0. If this does not add up, you will receive an error message when attempting to save the record. When finished, click on the Save Changes button located on the left navigation panel to view your account split in the line item. Using product codes for warehouse staff only. If a product code is being used, make sure the cursor is in the field and select Lookup. If the product code is known, simply type in the product ID number. Enter a portion of the description. It is not necessary to enter the full description. Click on the Tab button on your keyboard to display the products matching the description entered. Using wildcards, also known as asterisks, is also an option when only a portion of the product description is known. For example, if *pen* is typed, the system finds each product that has the word pen within the description. Select the appropriate product code by double-clicking on it and then clicking OK. Note, if the product code is used, the description and units of measure will populate for that product. Workflow approvals. To submit the purchase requisition for approval, click on the pending task on the left navigation panel. Click on the Refresh button located on the left navigation panel. Then click on Approve. Write any necessary comments in the comments window and then click on the Submit button. The system will display a check next to the requisition that has been sent to Workflow showing it has been submitted on the Pending Approval tab. PO printing. The path to print a purchase order, DEV, release order is PO from your dashboard. Physical user standard layout. Click on the Procurement Task Center and the Processing component. Click PO Print Purchase Order. Choose your PO format code. Enter your purchase requisition number. Leave Forms Printer pointing to Archive and click Submit. Or click on the Screen Links icon on the left navigation panel of the Purchase Request screen, which will open the Print Purchase Order screen. Choose your PO format code. Leave Forms Printer pointing to Archive. Click Submit. Once the PO job has been submitted, a purchase order will be printed. The status of the PR will be updated to PO. The funds will be encumbered. Note: if reprinting, you must print by the PO number. Standard Receiving. The path to receive is POU-PRC from your dashboard. Fiscal User Standard Layout, click on the Procurement Task Center. In the Processing component, click POU-PRC Receiving Information. Once the screen is displayed, simply enter the PO number in the PO number field and click on the Find Purchase Order on the left navigation panel. The line items for this PO will then display. Enter the date the items or services were received. Enter the invoice number or month year of service. To receive all the line items, click the Receive All button located on the left navigation panel or the Fully Receive button. Then click the Save Changes button located on the left navigation panel to update the record. To receive only select line items, simply click on the Manual button. Enter the quantity received in the Quantity Accepted field. Once a quantity to be received has been entered into the Quantity Accepted field, it is necessary to click on the Done button to update the record. Receiving Sign-Off Report. The path to receiving sign-off sheet report is POR-ERS from your dashboard. Fiscal User Standard Layout, click on the Procurement Task Center in the Processing component. Click POR-ERS Receiving Sign-Off Sheet. The Receiving Sign-Off screen will appear. Enter the PO number. The date entered in the Date Received field of the receiving screen will automatically populate. Change if needed. Leave line printer pointing to Archive and click Submit. To view Receiving Sign-Off Sheet, go to the main screen by clicking Finance Enterprise in the upper left corner and go to the Jobs tab. Click on the job number and the report will be the last image and it will indicate it is the Receiving Sign-Off. Go ahead and open it and that is your report. Copy a purchase requisition. From the POU PPR screen with the PR displayed that needs to be copied, click on the Tools tab from the left navigation panel. Then click on Copy PR. The copy window will display. Click the Copy button to generate a new PR with a system-generated number. This will only work with our requisitions. The system will display an information message of the new PR. The system is also saving the user data entry time. Make the necessary changes and process as normal. Thank you for completing Finance Enterprise End-User Training. If you have any questions or need assistance with the new system, please contact us at 749-3014.